Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. You know what time it is. That's right. It's the bottom line. Brought to you by Chaz's Used Auto Parts in Studio 02. And we got some hot off the press results to bring to you tonight. That's right. We appreciate you tuning in. I'm Tommy Cordell from Elbows Up. Dirt Production. Fast Freddy's back there on the switchboard. We're going to run the news for you here and get you out of here in 30 minutes. That's right. Let me get back here to my chair. Get dialed up. Welcome. We definitely got some results to cover. Got some good upcoming stuff going on for this weekend. There's no doubt about it, my friends. First and foremost, let's get down to business. Here we go. East Coast Legends. That's right. East Coast Legends Series. Freeze and Company. Freeze. Brought to you by David H. Martin Excavating. That's right, 50-plus years in the business, ladies and gentlemen, residential, commercial, agricultural, excavation, utility service, the proud title sponsor of the East Coast Legends. East Coast Legends Series had a doubleheader this past weekend. That's right, a doubleheader this past weekend. Friday night, they were at Linda Speedway. 20 cars showed up for competition. At the end of the night, we seen Scott Houdenshell victorious. Tyler Rantmeyer second. Justin Wagaman third, Hunter McElroy with a new bullet underneath the hood. He was fourth, and Scott Musselman fifth. So Houdenshell takes the victory at Linda Speedway. Saturday night, they were at the quarter-mile bull ring and spring run. That's right, Path Valley Speedway, the small track with the big action. You know it, and I know it. And by the way, they got the best damn ice cream in spring run. Don't forget it. Well, they had to adjust things a little bit. Weather was all around. Everybody had their hand full with weather. So what they did is they went ahead. They ran hot lap time trials and then features. So no heat races. They did squeak a Concy in there because they had 35 Legends cars show up for the big race. Freddie, we good? 35 Legend cars signed in. What a great car count as always. At the end of the night, it was Jeremy Ott, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy Ott took the victory. That's 12 victories in the East Coast Legends Series and one outside the Legends Series, making 13 total. Logan Jones in the 5J ran second. Lincoln Kirshner third. How about Hollywood? Devin Freeze fourth, and Seth Kirshner rounded out the top five. So Ott, Jones, Kirshner, Lincoln Kirshner, Hollywood, Devin Freeze, and Seth Kirshner. What a night it was. He said the track was hammer down, get it done. Good racing it was, my friend. Kudos, I'm hearing, to Path Valley Speedway for making the adjustment for hot lap time trials and then features and cutting out the heat races so they could get everyone in, and they did. They got all the races in, and guess what? Then it poured. Then it rained. This Saturday, they're back at the action track, the 3/8 mile, Winchester, Virginia, Winchester Speedway, to do battle there. I was looking at the schedule here for the East Coast Legends. The season's winding down. They got some shows. One left in August and a couple left in September, and that'll be it. And then they'll go to the Onyx Nationals. That's right. So winding down, my friends. Okay, moving on. How about your Dan's Auto Repair? Dan's Auto Repair results. Home of the Rouserville Rocket, driven by Tyler Horse, number 14. On the east side, downtown Rouserville, major minor overhauls, inspections, oil changes, tire rotations. You get Chad a call down there, he'll get you fixed up. Dan's Auto Repair, ladies and gentlemen, a proud sponsor here on the bottom line. Path Valley, we'll continue on with Path Valley. It was the Roy and Margaret McGee Memorial Weekend, the founders of the racetrack. They built the place. That's exactly right. We had our limited late models in the house. Limited late models were in the house. I believe we had 13, 14 of them signed in. Gunner Walls, my friends, Gunner Walls. Parkston and Victory Lane. Kid Smoot gets the job done at the quarter-mile bull ring. Jackson Garman second. DJ Myers in the TRW race car. And then Caden Rank was fourth. Joe Petyak was fifth. So Gunner Walls takes the checkers. 270s. T.A. Ward 270s. Aiden Krause. Dub. Another dub in the books for Aiden Krause. 600s. Jimmy Young. That's right. Jimmy Young won the 600s. Thunder Cars. How about this? Aaron Upthegraft. Old Upty. He ran Jeremy Ott's Thunder Car and got the job done. Upty parked it. Strictly Stocks. Jason Goss was victorious in your Strictly Stocks. Moving on to Bedford, the fabulous Bedford Fairground Speedway. It was a must-win / Tyler Ritchie Memorial Friday night racing, honoring two that were lost way too early, especially Tyler Ritchie just lost here this year. Super late models on hand. We've seen Ziggy, that's right, out of Chalk Hill, Pennsylvania, driving that 25Z, Mason Ziegler. He unloaded a brand new Rocket XR2, set the fast time, won his heat race, won the feature. He got the job done. Running second in the number 11, that's right, the Stinger, Jim McBee Motorsports. It was Spike Moore. Third, Trevor Feathers. Fourth, Alec 3, the A-Train. That's right, the A-Train. He was fourth, and fifth, Matt Sponigal. So Ziggy, he takes the honors, puts it on the band stage on the big night. Pure Stocks, Bradale Bowman, Semi-H, Ryan Sager. Four cylinders, Tyler Beckett. All in all, Bedford was a good night. The weather cleaned up and had a decent show on. A lot of emotions there that night for Tyler Ritchie. God bless him and his family. Muswine celebrated them as well. So we had a lot going on. That race for the Supers paid $5,333. Semi-H paid $1,000 for Muswine. Roaring Knob. Well, they had Supers there and they had crates there. They had decent car counts that night. We seen Dylan Lewis. That's right, Dylan Lewis, the ULMS, Trevor Zuver and Company, regular. He parked it in Victory Lane. Good for them guys. I'm glad to see that. They're good people. Got to know Dylan Lewis out in the road there at some of the ULMS shows. I knew it was a matter of time before they parked their machine in Victory Lane. The captain, Cal Hardy, followed him in second. Troy Fraser was third. In the crates, it was the captain, Cal Hardy. He took the dub. Sam Boscovich second, and Austin Yarborough round out the top three. So there you go, the Roaring Knob. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, I'm Tommy Cordell. This is the Bottom Line. In Studio 2, brought to you by Scrap Daddy himself, Chaz's Used Auto Parts, located in Tawnytown, Maryland. If Chaz don't have it, you don't need it. Because I guarantee you, he's got it. That's right. Clinton County, Lenny Stout Memorial. Limited late models in the house. Jackson Garmin, victorious. George Dixon runs second. Joe Lusk third. Pro Stocks, A.J. Hoffman again. That's got to be about a dozen wins for him. He keeps cranking them out. There ain't no doubt about it. I think last week he run double features he won. Four cylinders, Garrett Watkins was victorious in the four bangers. H-Town, Hagerstown, the capital, right? The capital. Barry Miller Memorial. Another huge night on tap for the Barry Miller Memorial. Weather, it was lurking all around. They got the crate makeup feature in. We've seen Ronnie Martin Jr. He parked in the Victory Lane. Brady Neff second. Kyler Upperman third. Kyler Upperman, last year's crate champion. Unfortunately, they did not get the limited late model feature in. They got about 8 or 9 laps in, 8 or 9, something like that. Yeah. In the rest of the classes, they'll be rescheduled. I didn't catch when they rescheduled. I didn't see anything yet at Facebook. I could have missed it. But it dripped, and then she brought her down, buddy. I mean, it poured like that. But they tried. They truly did. They tried. They moved things along, and they got as far as what they could in the race. Actually, you know what? Churchy was victorious in the Extreme Stocks. Yeah, Brandon Churchy, he was. They got that in. I apologize. They did get that in. They were victorious in the Extreme Stocks. Churchy. Winchester, they canceled due to weather. Lincoln, they had arena cross there. Motocross, four-wheelers, ATVs, you name it. BAPS had limited late models, had 19 signed in. We've seen Chunky, Devin Fry. He parks it in Victory Lane. Scotty Palmer second, Chad Smith third. Extreme Stocks, Brian Walls. Limited Stocks, Robbie Carroll, 358 Sprints, Brock Hamaker. So BAPS got their show in. Hey, kudos to them. Kudos to everybody who got it in. Some places it just didn't work. The weather just did not cooperate. Port Royal, Living Legends Night. 20,000 on the line for 410 Sprints. Super late models in the house as well. A lot of guys rolling in the Supers to tune up for what's coming this Friday and Saturday. We'll talk about that directly, okay? They moved that up. It actually started, I think, cars were on the track at 4 o'clock, okay? Cars were on the track at 4. Super late models, 23 signed in. Drake Troutman in the Jerry Foster Motorsports Hot Rod. Parks are in Victory Lane. That's number 2 for Jerry Foster and his driver. First one came at Lernerville. This one came at Port Saturday. The Truth Greg Saturday runs second. How about this? Running third out of York, Pennsylvania. They call him Scrub, Rick Eckert. Ross the Boss out of the first state of Delaware finishes fourth. Levi Yetter, a Lernerville regular. See him out catching some ULMS shows up in that western tier region running. 5th place for Levi Yetter. Good run for him. 410s, Danny Dietrich. Danny Dietrich is your winner. Ron Smith third. Chase Dietz fourth. Cameron Smith in the 1A. That's right. Fourth. And Ryan Newton fifth. Okay, so Drake Troutman and Danny Dietrich take the honors at Port Royal. Sealings Grove, Friday night. That's right, the Snyder County, the big sweeper. The big sweeper. Super late models. We had a little invasion going on there. Clay Harris. Clay Harris rolls in. He's getting her dialed up for this coming weekend. He is victorious. Drake Troutman, 2nd place run. Ross the Boss, 3rd. Justin Weaver. How about Justin Weaver, your hard charger? I think he broke a transmission, started 21st in the A-main, finished 4th, moved 17. 17 spots for Justin Weaver. What a run. Scrub Rick Eckert rounds out your top 5. Street stocks, Jason Giesman. He parks it. Troy Miller, 2nd. Tommy Dawson ran 3rd. 305s, Doug Dotson. 305s was Doug Dotson. Freddie, we good? Good. Freddie says we're good, we're good. Williams Grove, Jack Gunn Memorial. 410s, it was Double D. Danny Dietrich. Chase Dietz 2nd, Logan Rumsey 3rd. Wingless Super Sportsman's Wingless, Tony Jackson. Wings Super Sportsman's, Tony Jackson. Can we say Tony Jackson again? I'm sure we can. Tony Jackson. So he doubled them up. 2 dubs. Semi-retired, still coming back, bringing the heat, getting it done. The Dog Pound. Dog Hollow, that's right. Limited late models, Brad Benton. He was victorious. Kyle Lear, Showtime in the 151, runs 2nd. Mike Parnish runs 3rd. Pure Stocks, Greg Blystone. Greg Blystone in the Pure Stocks. Moving on. Let me flip the paper. Well, that's your results there. Okay, that's your results. So like I said, some were off because of rain, weather, other things, and such going on. So now we'll get to our Ashley Yoder Designs, ladies and gentlemen. Ashley Yoder Designs, race wraps, decals, sign design. Ashley Yoder Designs. Who's hot for the week? Here we go. Who's hot? Limited late models. It's Kid Smooth, Gunner Walls, my friends. He picked up the dub last week at Bedford, did it in style. This week, Path Valley, he parks it again. Honorable mention right there, Jackson Garman, Clinton County win Friday night, runs 2nd at Path Valley on Saturday. So Gunner Walls, Kid Smooth, hot. Honorable mention, hot. Jackson Garman. Super late models, we'll go with Drake Troutman. That's right, Drake Troutman, Sealings Grove, finishes 2nd. Port gets the dub. Honorable mention, Spike Moore. Spike ran 2nd this past week to Ziegler. Spike continues in that Jim McBee Motorsports to be strong. That's exactly right. Even in the Longhorn. He was in the Horn. Friday night. Picked up some dubs there, obviously. Marion Center and Bedford the weeks before in the XR2. 410s, I mean, you got to go with Dietrich. I mean, Williams Grove, he wins the Jack Gunn Memorial. Living Legends race at Port, pockets 20 grand, wins. We'll go with Danny Dietrich. It's been Chase Dietz for a while. Dietrich probably getting on a hot streak, going into the big money coming up here. What's left of this month, going into next month and the following month. Okay, there you have it. Once again, we appreciate you tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you following us this past weekend at Bedford and Hagerstown. We'll be out and about, hopefully, this week, coming weekend, getting the job done. Let's get to our Amsoil by Aaron Miller. Oils, lubes, greases, Amsoil by Aaron Miller, ladies and gentlemen. Find him on Facebook or the number listed right there on the signboard. He'll get you fixed up. Located in Hagerstown, Washington County, Maryland. Let's see what we got shaking this week. Path Valley, the Bull Ring. 358 sprints were on. They are now off. They have pulled off the card. They got Wingless Sportsman's on. TA wore 270s. There's a makeup for Jack Flowers. I believe that's... Let me back up there. I'm going to back up. Some of the Gelwicks race. I know Austin Gelwick's race got made up. I think some of the other classes have to be made up. That's correct. Thunder Cars and 600s. Hagerstown is off. Port Royal. Can we say Port Royal? We can say Lucas Oil. It's the invasion. That's right. It's a rumble by the river, ladies and gentlemen. The mighty Juniata, right, Fred? The mighty Juniata River, my friends. They're coming Friday, and they're coming Saturday. It even gets better. It even gets better. Limited late models are on the card Friday. They're on the card Saturday. It's going to be good. I can assure you that. It will be a doozy. Okay? I always like going to that show up at Port. We don't get to see super late models much at Port because they're player haters when it comes to super late models. I love saying that. But no, it's good to see the super late models there. Lucas Oil in town. There'll be a ton of local/regional racers in the house for that, plus your limited late models. It don't get any better than that, my friends. Both nights, Friday, Saturday, 50,000 smackers on the line Saturday for who that lucky person is that sits in Victory Lane, my friend. Potomac, Butts Creek, Maryland. Crates, street stocks, hobby stocks, street stocks, strictly stocks, U-Cars. That's a Potomac. Williams Grove, 358s, 410s. Lincoln's, PA Posse, 410 show. Sealands Grove, Sunday, 410s and street stocks. That's right, Sealands Grove, a sweeper, 410s and street stocks. Winchester, East Coast Legends there. Limited late models, crates, hobby stocks, and pure stocks. Be a good show there. BAPS, limited late models. Super Sportsman's, extreme stocks, and 305s. Clinton County, 270s. 4 cylinders, 305s, pro stocks. The Dog Pound, Dog Hollow, limited late models, pro stocks, crates, pure stocks, and 4 cylinders. They got the whole docket ready to roll. Bedford, Modified Mafia's in town. Semi-lates, Vicks, and 4 cylinders at Bedford. PA Micro Midgets, Shellhammer's Dirt Track. They'll be back in action at Shellhammer's Dirt Track. That's right. Okay. Once again, if you're just tuning in, I'm Tommy Curdell. This is The Bottom Line, brought to you by Chad's Used Auto Parts here in Studio 02, my friends. Moving on. Tim Fights Painting, interior, exterior, painting, commercial, residential, power washing. You give Tim Fights a call. He's good, man. He's the best in the business. He'll get you fixed up. There ain't no bluffing about that. Tim Fights Painting, news briefs. Let's talk about Avery McMillan. Avery, that's right. Obviously a junior racer. Roaring Knob, P4. H-Town, this past weekend, won his heat race. Makeup feature in the crates, P6. Good for him. Guys are moving right along. Little wild man, as they call him. Scrub Eckert, Sealands Grove, runs 5th. Port runs 3rd. Picking up some momentum. That's a good deal going into the big show this weekend. I believe Scrub was a recipient winner of the old Rumble by the River several years ago. Ross the Boss, Sealands Grove 3rd, Port 4th. Once again, getting her dialed in. So that's a good deal. A lot of momentum going into this Friday and Saturday. Clay Harris, P1, same thing at Sealands Grove, getting her tuned up, wound up, ready to roll. Ziegler, once again, unloads. New Rocket XR2 gets the job done. That was the first lap she had on her. He got out there, set fast time, heat race, win, feature win, and he did her in style. Spike was second. But, yeah, I know Ziggy would be rocking and ready to roll. Now, you can't forget about your ULMS. Zuver and Company, Tyler County, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Country Roads, take me home, my friends. Okay? Big money on the line all weekend for Zuver and Company and ULMS at Tyler County. Sunday, big money on the line. So a lot of them guys, they'll finish Saturday and probably bounce and head to West by God, Virginia. Roaring Knob, increased car counts, super late models and crates. A lot of those guys, fair amount of those guys also ran down in Elkins. Speaking of Elkins, yeah, Mike Hurley and his crew can't catch a break with the weather. It's a bummer. It truly is. They were trying to run their Bobby Hart Classic. Had a lot of heavy hitters going to be running that show. They were signed in, trying to get some racing done. The weather it wiped them out. These guys can't catch a break. I feel for them. I really do. DJ Troutman Memorial, September 18th and 19th. We spoke to Rick Bettinger, heading that deal up at Bedford there Friday. Did a little one-on-one discussion. It'll be Modified Mafia Friday and Saturday. Got a lot of stuff going on there. And Drake's supposed to be running the Modified. That's right. Obviously, it'll be in Jerry Foster's Modified. So that'll be a good race, September 18th and 19th. We'll be covering media for that. We're pretty excited about that. We look at Sealings Grove. Some of the other notables. Deshaun Gingrich, Shawnee, P6. Tristan Nieder, P7. Greg Deal, P9. Things went got a little, what would you call it, a little goofy there in the beginning of the race, and them guys hung on. They survived it out. They got the job done. Had themselves top 10 finishes. Good for them, especially Greg Deal. There's all of them, but Greg Deal running for the veterans. That's their main preface. Had her tongue-tied there, Fred. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They do a ton for the veterans. Folded flag racing. Shawnee's back in action this year. Tristan Nieder continues to gain and gain and gain. Week in and week out. He getting lap time, seat time, gaining and gaining. I know we'll see him in Lucas Friday and Saturday. Possibly even Greg Deal Friday and Saturday. Don't forget to go to YouTube. Subscribe. It costs nothing. Elbows Up There Productions. All of our videos are canned over there for life. Racing Extravaganza. We had a chance to go down and meet with the Hobson family, Marty and Steve, yesterday. Discussed the plans, the blueprint, the layout for a new and improved Racing Extravaganza. I know it's January 29th and 30th. The way's off. Car registration's open. There's a whole lot of stuff open. Seminars are being added. There's a lot of great open forum discussions being added as well. There ain't no cornhole this year. We're going back to the roots, the basics for a trade show, a race car show. Back to the roots. And that's what the people want, and that's what we're giving them. We're very much a part of that. Happy to be a part of that on this end. Looking forward to it. So get on there. Get on their Facebook page, website. Get your car registered. Plan to get out there. If you're a vendor, get your booth in there. You know what I'm saying? If you're a fan, get out there. There's going to be a ton of stuff going on. A ton of stuff. Looking at the show next Thursday. We're trying to squeeze one this Thursday. But with the schedule with Lucas Oil and who we wanted to come on, it just didn't kind of work. So we're going to have it next Thursday. The House of Dirt, episode 83, will be coming at you. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you tuning in tonight for The Bottom Line, brought to you by Chaz's Used Auto Parts. A lot of racing to be had. Get yourself out there to the racetrack this weekend. Knock on wood, the weather's supposed to cooperate, so I think we're in good condition to see some good racing wherever you're at. We appreciate you tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We always appreciate you. And remember, like I always said, if you're going to do it, and whatever you do it with big energy, you do it with elbows up. We'll see you at the racetrack this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Take care.